Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Happy belated New Year. I know I've been out of touch and not making videos for the last few months. A lot has been going on behind the scenes, but we're starting off the 2024 with a lot of destruction to a brand new vehicle. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on a 2023 Toyota Tacoma, which has 300 miles on it. It's brand spanking new. We are going to be installing an aftermarket bumper, and we're going to be doing some cutting and destruction to this vehicle. You guys might wonder why I'm not doing a brand new review on this. I don't think it's worth doing a review. No, I'm kidding. If you want to see a Toyota Tacoma review of this generation, go online. There are multiple people who did it. I think they did a lot better job than I would do. So you can watch their videos on the Toyota Tacoma review. What we're doing is we're going to be changing the grille. So this piece insert in here, you see the round Toyota, it's going to say Toyota spelled out like the TRD Pro does. And then, by the way, this is TRD Sport. And then taking bumper clips out of here, this piece, and then adding on a body armor bumper in the front that you can attach aftermarket lights, the light bar, use the vent kit to come through and all that stuff. So we're going to be doing that. And in order to do that, you have to take this piece off, cut about an inch off of the bumper piece over here. Make sure a couple tools you have is a masking tape, a marker, a ruler to measure and try to do as much straight line as you can, basically. And then along with that, you will need some 12 millimeters and 14 mm socket wrenches, sockets to use for your power wrenches or manual tools, however you're going to use it for ratchets. And then we're going to be doing a lot of unclipping of the wires because that's how it's going to work. So let me actually bring it over and I'll show you. If you open the hood and look facing inwards, the very first thing, I already took it off. There's a 12 millimeter bolt here that you're going to unplug. And then there are these clips, which look exactly like this. You're going to pop open. What else you have to do is there's this wire that runs for your, I believe this is for your cruise radar sensor that sits under the Toyota sign. Just for now, unplug it from here and then unplug this one from here as well. So there are two that's plugged in, one in here, one in here. I already undid it, so that's why I didn't make that video. But basically what happens is if you hold tight, you'll notice I'm going to do one side so you guys can see. I'm being extra careful, not scratching anything. So you'll notice that there are these tabs that go inside the bumper, right? There's one here, there's two down below, and the back side of the grille that goes into the bumper frame and the main frame as well. So just be super careful when you take it off. And when you take it off, it comes off like this. Obviously, with this, at this stage, I cannot take off because there is a wire still connected. So what you want to do is flip it around, and you'll notice you can push on this tab, right? And you can take it off. Okay, in order to remove the bumper, pull down from the bottom piece and just pull it up. It's clips that holding it. If you have issues, you can go from the front and push the tabs. To remove this bumper support plastic piece, these are push tabs. Use a flat edge and then push the tabs down or the trim tool, and there are about 8 of them spread out on top and bottom that you need to push up or down depending on where they're located, and this whole plastic piece comes off. So at this time, you can see I'm pointing them out. To remove the crash bar, you will need a 14 millimeter deep socket to get into it, and then remove those. There are 3 on each side, and the top and the bottom too. They will come off, but the crash bar still will not come off because it's still attached at this time. As you can see, you can use a ratchet or you can use a driver and then take it out that way, or an impact wrench. Again, use extension and a 14 millimeter. Okay guys, so you might wonder why this is taped up. Use a masking tape, use any painter's tape that you have, tape it up. The reason is we're going to be cutting this like I mentioned. So putting this on, so basically helps paint a little bit because some of this bumper is going to remain on here, some of this piece is going to cut off. So you see how there is a edge or a lip right here that comes down. Put a tape on it because what we're going to do is we're going to measure. Yeah, I broke this ruler right now. We're going to take off about 3/4 of an inch. So basically this much from the lip is going to be cut off. If you are a little too concerned, take off a little bit less than a 3/4, maybe 2/3 of an inch, because you can always cut more, you cannot cut less. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around all this and make a line with a marker on this bumper, which is going to be 3/4 from the edge. But what's going to happen is when you come around it, if you notice, there is a bend in the bumper, right? So trying to depict it the best as possible. See, there's a bend right here. But when we cut it, it's going to come down and it's going to cut like this all the way around underneath. Because this piece where everything up here is going to get come off. This is all plastic. We got to take it off so the bumper can fit, and then this crash bar can come out as well, so this body armor bumper can go on. Take your time, don't rush. If you're good at cutting, you don't have to tape it. You can put a marker line or imaginary line and cut it. If you're conscious or if you're concerned or have concerns, put a tape, measure 3/4 of an inch or 20 mm, and then make a line as straight as possible. And then you're going to take your oscillating tool, Dremel, and cut it through. Just be careful that there's nothing underneath it, but when you get here, there might be something underneath behind it, so you have to be super careful and not cut everything else around it. So take your time to do this. I'll leave the camera running so you guys can see it and then go from there. So once you cut it, it's going to hang down here like this because you've cut it. And now what you have to do is there are two screws, one in the middle, left of the license plate bracket, one is the right of the license plate bracket. It's at 10 millimeter. Unscrew it, and this whole thing will fall down like this. So now, once we'll put this on the side, what you have to keep in mind is this line. So one thing I want to point out, when I did 3/4, I've made a marker line that you can see still on the bumper, and there's a reason I left it like this. I can always make it shorter, smaller, but I cannot add more bumper to it once I cut it. So that's why if you notice, if you bring the camera in, the line on that we drew with a marker is still there because I wanted to keep the line so I have some room to work with in case I cut it. You can use a filer, sander if you want, and trim this out. You'll see it, I have it, and I'm going to work on it and clean this up a little so it's smooth. Once it's smooth, we'll test fit the bumper and we'll go from there. If you need to take more out, we'll take more out. But only thing is, you'll notice there are two screws literally underneath. Those are the only two screws that come out. And if you look at the bumper piece that I cut out, so this is the bumper that's cut out, right? So you notice where the lines were, the body line. These are the only two screws you need to take out. All these, you don't need to take out. These you can remain in. These are for if you want to do aftermarket stuff, you can take this and put this on here, but these are the only two screws that come out that's holding it. Everything else is just cutting the molding along. Okay, so to remove the crash bar, diagonally behind it is a 12 millimeter screw that is in the bumper piece. What you would need to do is use a socket or a ratchet and take it off. The way I'm trying to point in here is you'll see a little orange clip inside. That's where the screw goes into. So if you want to either push down and just remove the clip, or you can use a 12 millimeter socket to remove the screw that I'm pointing out right now. And then the crash bar will come out. So here we have the Rough Country LED bar that's going to go inside the body armor. It uses L brackets, and we're going to attach it just like this and then wire it through. Okay, so what you're going to do is this Rough Country bar comes with some attachments. In this body armor bumper, you won't be able to do it because it comes with these, and it comes with the brackets that goes back here, which are all these brackets. So they don't really fit. So what happens is if you look at the bumper, when you open up the bumper, there's a packaging that comes with these L brackets. So what you can do is you can use the L brackets sitting like this on both sides and use a hardware screws that came with the Rough Country bar. So what I did was, these are the hex screws I'm using. As you can see, I put one here, and then what I want to do is put one through here and tighten this up too. But before I do that, since it's metal and metal, I want to put some of these rubber pieces to because over time with friction and movement, this will make noise, so hopefully this will help a little bit of the noise reduction, or these thick ones. We will see what to use, but for now what I'm doing is putting these screws in here. So this, make sure you put some washers through first. And sorry, it's just a bad angle because I'm trying to get in and also do this. So I'm not tightening it all the way. I'm going to leave it for now. Actually, hold on, I have to fix this because the washer just went through. Okay, so here's the little challenge that we have to do. Basically, the bumper that you see, those holes, are going to go where we remove the crash bar, right? But in order to get here, these radiator bars are blocking it. So there's a 12 millimeter bolt here, 12 here. So you can see where my fingers are going. There's a 12 here and a 12 here that you have to remove. Because basically what's going to do is, it's sitting here. We need to move it 2 inches back using the brackets that the manufacturer gave us, something like this. Basically, we're going to put these in, right, and then we're going to put this on there, and we're going to tighten it. But in order to do that, you have to remove 1 and 2, one on the right side of the radiator, one on the left side of the radiator, and then one is sitting on the frame, which I'll show you from the view well. So if you come this way, so you have to take these off. These are just clips. See, it says 4F right here. Take this off. You'll see that bolt right back there. That bolt is holding the radiator lines in here, so you got to take this off. Once I take this off, give me a second. Okay, this will not go back on afterwards because there's no hole back here to move it 2 inches or 1.5 inches. It's just going to remain off the bracket. So what we're going to do is, now you'll notice, if I go back to the front, good luck to exercises today because you're going to keep moving around. So you're going to remove this, second one, and this should be the third one. Okay. Obviously on this truck, since this is literally brand new, none of the bolts had to be sprayed. In your case, if it's a year used, 6 months used, and the water and snow, you will have to spray these down to get them off. This is literally brand new, not driven. So now you notice how this moves front and back. So we're going to move it back as much as possible. That's why it's going to be like this. So the bar can fit on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach these and then go with it. So let me get started with this and I'll show you what's done. Okay guys, so what will happen is, like I was mentioning, you'll get this bracket. So put it this way, the screw going backwards, and don't worry, this radiator bar, the rubber has a lot of space. You're not gonna crush it with anything. Put this underneath, use the screws we removed to do this. Obviously you will not be able to do it with a socket, so you have to use a wrench and tighten it, right? So it's tightened. You'll do the same thing with this one, but before I put this in, I'm just tightening this. Okay, so it's tightened. What you notice now, before it was where my hand is. So we moved it back about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Because before where the outlets, these screws are, that's where it was hanging out here. So now we got more space here with this. And it's moved back. So what you're gonna do is you got these screws in the packet that came with the bumper. You're gonna go behind this and put this on. Washer. Yeah, I need a washer. Good point. So put the washer down first. So and then you can see it when I'm putting the screw here. And I'll tighten it afterwards, but you'll see how it's. So I don't know how well I can show you, but here it is. See, that's where the screw gets tightened. And I'll tighten it, it's 12 millimeter. Same thing, this is 12 too. So this is what we relocated because this piece was sitting here and we moved it back to get us space here. So, and I'm going to tighten the other side. The same thing I'm going to do. So you see how that is right there? I'm going to put a washer and put a bolt on it so we can tighten it down. This will not hit because as you can see, there's a lot of space here. And this is just rubber flapping back and forth. And the screw that was coming off the wall, the chassis, we're not going to put it back on the third screw. Only these screws will get moved in there. So the covering comes with the bumper. What you want to do is open the little bit of the metal piece up and slide it over the cut you have made into the bumper, and then on the both sides it will flow through, and then this extra you have, you can just cut it with the cutters. Okay, just make sure once you put it on, push it all the way so it sits firm and doesn't slide off. You can use a flat edge. So here guys, a couple things that I did not show so far in the video. The piece that comes, put it on, squish it on, make sure it's fully on. I kept thinking this bumper, the plastic rubber piece, is going to go underneath this metal one. It does not. It sits on top of it. So basically, once the screws are tightened, I still have three screws on each side to go. The bumper will fit like this. So if you bring the camera around, you'll notice from here, it's a perfect fit going around, right? And it's going to sit like this. It's not going to go underneath this metal piece. Don't try to fit it. It's not going to work. You're going to waste your time. You're going to deform this whole front grille. So leave it. What you need to do is reuse your screws. If you recall, there were these screws, right? They came off the crash bars, the chassis. What we're going to do is we're going to take those, 6 of them. We're going to put 3 on this side and 3 on this side. So if you bring the camera on, you'll notice, I'm trying to use this. I don't know if it's going to work. So when you put this in, you can put it in. There are 2 screws in on the other side of this metal bar, or this plastic piece, right? So what you can do is you can put your hand right behind the light in here, and you can go straight down, and you'll see those 2 screws right down there. You're seeing my hand. No, move it back. So you see those 2 screws right there? Right down here. So those are the 2 screws. You can put it in, and then you can tighten those right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the inner ones first. So just use tool, use a ratchet. So I'm going to do it as much possible, and then I'm going to do it with the. So you see, now you can see that it has lifted up. We decided not to cut so much of this because let it sit. I don't want the water and everything else gushing in all the time. So what I'm going to do now is I can't take this tool underneath. Let me try. I don't think it's going to go. Simply, if you remember, these are the tabs we're going to push in, and then there are a bunch of clips and 2 bolts, I believe. So if I do this right, this is going to go like this. Okay, that was not part of the plan. Don't push too hard. You're going to take this off from here. I got to put it back on. And now we put this back on. Push this in. Push this in. Push this in. So let me screw it, but then basically this is how it will look. The lights will turn on soon enough. Still have to wire them. But compared to the standard,
thank you for watching, guys. If there are any comments, questions, please leave them down below, and I'll link all the items down below as well. Thank you.